Hey, raggedy people, welcome back to WWJD Television. Y'all thought y'all wasn't going to have to listen to my intro song today?
Yeah, what would Jesus do in sticky situations? Holy wisdom with the side of revelations. Grab your snacks, it's time to see how Raggedy Church handles the drama on WWJD TV.
Ain't no way y'all wanted to miss that. Y'all didn't want to miss that show. Well, today here on WWJD Television, we are talking about Phillip Anthony Mitchell.
Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Now, I spoke on Phillip Anthony Mitchell a while back because y'all know when I was in my van, we went through Atlanta, Georgia. I was going to go to his church, but my van was breaking down. So I got online and I thought, he's got such a big church over there, because this past year he was out there asking for a bunch of money and stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but maybe they could help me out with my van, right? I was broke down. There ain't no phone number on the website. You got to email them to get a response. But that's on another story. We're not talking about that today. However, I did speak out on him, okay? And it just goes to show that my discernment was strong. Because let's see what Phillip Anthony is doing now. Because, Phillip Anthony just popped onto the scene real quick. He was viral real quickly, okay? And trying to figure out how that happens, right? But let's go down the road of Phillip Anthony Mitchell, okay? We're going to watch a sermon that he did at his church talking about a wolf trying to attack his kids and what he did when the wolf was trying to attack his kids. Now, there's one thing I want y'all to notice about this sermon, okay? He is black. We know that because he says it in the sermon. He talks about he's black, and that's a label. Okay. But his clothes are black. His backsplash is black. His church is black. If you look out into the audience, they in the dark. Why is everything black over there? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So let's watch his story about him and the wolves.
A couple months ago, my son Josiah, he took our dogs outside in the backyard for their morning walk. And while he was out there with the dogs for their morning walk, this wolf-type beast just emerged from the tree lines in the woods behind our house and was sizing up our two dogs to attack them. Josiah went into a panic and he started yelling at our dogs to get inside, get inside, get inside. To which the dogs did not obey his voice when he first started yelling, get inside. And this beast, whatever it was, it looked like a wolf, he said. I don't know if it was a coyote or whatever, but this wolf-type beast was standing there getting ready to attack our two dogs. And because they was not listening to his voice, he ran over to our smallest dog and he scooped up Chance, which is a Shih Tzu, and he ran towards the house. And as he ran towards the house, he turned around and he started yelling at our larger dog, a poodle named Orlando, get in the house, get in the house, get in the house. And Orlando at first would not move. He would not listen to the voice of Josiah. And as he stood there, that wolf was maybe 5 feet from Orlando, getting ready to ravish him and tear him up. And he kept yelling at Orlando, get inside, get inside. And finally, Orlando took off and started running. And it was Joey who went into a quick panic, but was also very quick in his thinking, who cared about the life of our two dogs and saw that wolf that came out from the woods and did everything he could in that moment to protect the lives of our dogs from that wolf, whatever that was that came out the tree line. Family, this went beyond that day. This would continue over the course of a few weeks. And eventually it got so bad that we started walking the dogs in the morning with a flashlight and an air rifle to protect our dogs from that wolf. My daughter Abigail, who I've trained to shoot, she's excellent with that rifle. She'll snipe somebody from 50 yards away very easy. Like Abigail's a beast with that trigger. And she would be out there with that rifle on her shoulder, with that flashlight, trying to protect our two dogs from this wolf that kept coming out every single morning that was preying, Preying, on these two dogs.
Whoo-wee, that was a terrifying story, wasn't it? That wolf out there after his children. And he had to teach his kids how to be snipers, basically. To take people and wolves out, is what he said. Lord have mercy. That's a terrifying situation, right? But he's going to do everything in his power to protect his kids from them wolves, right? I mean, he taught them how to shoot guns and everything. Now we're going to go on and listen to another story about a wolf trying to attack some children. Okay, and then in the end, I'm going to bring it on home and I'm going to land the airplane and show y'all where Phillip Anthony Mitchell is full of crap. Okay, okay. Now, the people you're going to be listening to in this interview are Jonathan and Susie Lamb, and they used to be part of Daystar. Their mother, Jonathan's mother, Joni Lamb, is the new president of Daystar. And there's a whole lot that goes on with that story that I'm not going to get into on this podcast. However, we are going to dive into it because there's a lot of y'all that haven't been following this, and there's a lot of stuff that tie into it. So a lot of the preachers and stuff that y'all be watching is tied in with all of this. So that's why I'm starting to talk on it. Okay.
There's a basement below where Marcus and Joni were. There's a game room area down there, and that's where they were. So we finished breakfast, and Pete had the baby. Again, my heart is to always protect the identity of a baby or a child that does not need to be mentioned. Obviously, they took that, and I thought they'd be happy, but it's okay. This innocent little life was there in one arm, and he was doing something in the kitchen, and I was talking to my daughter, and she said, "Mommy, I want to go swim." And I said, "Okay, go upstairs, put on your swimsuit, come back to Mommy." And the second I said that, his eyes just kind of got big, and he goes, "Ah," and he started to follow her. Yes, that baby was right there, and he just started to follow. The baby was a non-factor. He saw her, he goes, "Ah," and he started to follow her up. And I felt such panic in her eyes, because I just knew if it was me stopping it, they'd be like, "Susie, look what you're doing again." And that's what, today they have to admit that he was caught in that room because of Jonathan's crazy reaction, like very strong. But all I can do is tell the truth before God. He followed her up there, panic set in my heart. And I told Jonathan, and he ran. Joni and Marcus were in the basement. They heard nothing. There was no conversation. My son did not invite him up there. My son was not there.
I'm on the first floor in our room. So our room is just on the other side of the kitchen. I was brushing my teeth when Susie came. She said, "Hey, Pete is falling." So I dropped my toothbrush and I ran up to the third floor, and I got up there. The first thing I noticed is I lock eyes on my daughter. She doesn't have any clothes on. And so immediately I start screaming, "What are you doing?" to Pete.
What is Pete doing? They're saying he's looking out the window in some of these.
Pete is by the window. Whenever I started to scream, obviously my eyes initially locked with, so I screamed, "What are you doing?" And he immediately goes to saying, I'm so sorry. At least 50 times.
Now, what you just listened to was an interview that Julie Royce of the Royce Report did with Jonathan and Susie Lamb after an incident that had happened in Miramar Beach, Florida in 2023. Now, she clearly states that she waited until all the evidence was out and everything had been made public before she did this podcast with them. Let's listen to her statement.
As many of you know, for the past several months, I've been investigating and reporting this story. And ever since I broke the story, November 20th, I've been eager to record a podcast with Jonathan and Susie. But we decided early on that we wanted to wait until the bulk of the stories had been reported before recording a podcast. So this is a podcast I've been eager to do for quite some time, and I think you'll agree that it's worth the wait.
So they were doing this podcast in November of 2024, and everything had been exposed. Now, Daystar is a huge mega broadcasting network, and there's a lot of mega churches that broadcast their shows on Daystar, on the Daystar network, like Joyce Meyer, Kenneth Copeland, Jesse Duplantis. That's just a few. I think Joel Osteen is on there. So they started pulling their shows off of the broadcasting network after they realized the things that Joni was doing. It's a whole lot of things, and we're going to talk about it. And a lot of broadcasters were pulling off of this network. And so now she's just grasping at anybody she can get on there. She has pulled Paula White. She has pulled all of these false, prophetic, crazy people onto the show. And now we're going to see where Phillip Anthony Mitchell spent his time, January 2025. And this is after all of this stuff was exposed about this big church, okay, or about this big broadcasting network that they call themselves a church because they don't have to file taxes and stuff, okay?
About where you are right now. Then I want to hear part of your testimony as well.
Yeah, right now, we're just dealing with a serious battle because of the growth of our church and where we're gathering right now in our residential neighborhood. We're dealing with a lot of pressure from the city. There's a traffic.
Because you're in a
parking.
school.
We're in a school.
Right.
And we're believing God for our first facility. And we're dealing with a lot of external pressure.
Do you have any options right now, or do you still need some options to open up?
We are believing God for a building we've been looking at. It's about $7 million to acquire that building, maybe another $15 million to renovate it. Wow. And we're believing God for the resources to come in to do that project. We need a miracle right now. We need a miracle.
Right now, you need probably about 100,000 square foot warehouse just to put people in and preach the word of God. If you're in Atlanta and you have a square footage that's available, I want you to reach out to Phillip today and let him know that you're welcoming him there and you can work a deal later. But we need a place.
How many can fit into this building that you're wanting to acquire?
So this building is 120,000 square feet. We believe we can build an auditorium that'll seat maybe 2,000 people. We'll do multiple gatherings, have space for our children, for our teens, and for our institute, the 2019 Institute. And we really believe in God for the acquisition of that building. Obviously, it's going to take resources. It's going to take prayer and faith. And we're trusting God for that right now. We need a miracle right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there he sits, right there on the Daystar stage with Joni Lamb. Oh, okay, and her new husband, the sex therapist, Doug Wiess. Now, y'all don't know that part yet if y'all haven't been following this, but her husband that started Daystar with her, Marcus Lamb, died in 2020 with COVID. They think somebody did it, but anyway, he died. And then like a year later, she married this sex therapist right here, Doug Wiess, that she had on her show. We can't talk about that in this podcast, though. It'll be way too long, and it's already too long for TikTok, but I'm going to post it anyway. There is Phillip Anthony Mitchell sitting on stage. Now, after all this stuff had been unfolded way back in November of 2024, and then he's going to get on the stage because she was offering cheap slots on the show. So he got on there and he got to preach, right? For a cheap price. He needed his name out there because he needs $15 million to renovate a $7 million thing. That's $22 million for him to be able to preach. Okay.
There's such a call and a cry for, like you said, genuine revival. And when you say that word holiness, you have, and I mean, I know there's a lot of amazing men and women of God, but you also have those that are saying one thing behind the pulpit and living another life. How important is authenticity right now for people to see and see that?
I think we're living in a generation right now. I have 4 children at home, my wife and I, Lena, and 3 of them are teenagers. And I think this generation can see through people who are phony from a mile away. And I think what we need right now more than anything is a congruence between what we are preaching and the way that we are living. And I think God will bless authenticity in this hour because he wants people to be serious about the Lord Jesus Christ in this hour. And I think it's time out for false Christianity and fake Christianity in this time.
So tell me about like some of the first drippings, if you would, of the Holy Spirit and the glory of God meeting you at that school. What was like some of those first services like, and were you surprised that God showed up the way he did?
One of the things that happened before we launched 2019 is that I had a real deep wringing out of my heart, which God did a work in my heart over a period of 6 months, in which he kind of just rang out vanity from my heart, rang out things from my heart that was worldly and materialistic.
We had to get the foundation figured out before he built on you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like,
All that was rang out of
little
my
pebble
heart.
there.
Yeah.
Did he just say he had a ringing out of his heart? Okay. Because he don't want material possession no more. Why you got to have a $22 million building, sir? What I'm trying to tell you is I stayed in Georgia in a crack meth out shed for a little while when I was homeless. And there's a big old piece of land out there that I could get you for about $140,000. And it would fit all your people. It's got a cute little pond on it too. Uh-huh. And it would fit all your people out there. It'd be like Woodstock. Ain't nobody need $22 million building. Okay. Y'all heard the sermon, didn't you? About his kids getting chased by the wolves. Okay, and he was going to get him a gun out there. Just his kids know how to blow people up with the gun or pop people with the gun. He wasn't newsies. It wasn't newsies. People be taking me wrong. He said that his child was a sniper shot. Okay, that's what he does. People coming after his kids. But all this stuff been exposed about Daystar, and they ain't worrying about the little victim, the little baby lamb that's been attacked by a wolf, Joshua Brown, in this scenario. And Phillip gonna get up there on the stage with Joni so he could get some money for his church. Okay, y'all see where I'm going with this? Now that was in January when he was sitting up on that stage, right? Well, let's fast forward to, I think this was in July when he did this sermon about the wolves. We're gonna listen to some more snippets of that sermon about what he's telling people now, okay? What he tells y'all to do.
This is what we deal with as we approach, man, this powerful text of scripture. Hear me. It is this text that we're about to unpack, which is the beginning, hear me, of the last public message Jesus ever preached. If his first recorded sermon was the Sermon on the Mount, this is his last recorded sermon. And of all the things the Lord could have said to us before he was executed publicly, he took this moment in history to warn his children and all future followers to protect themselves from men like this. This first half, warning his children, stay away from men like this. So he exposes their false righteousness. He exposes their false ministry. And the last one he exposes their false greatness. Verse 5-7, look what he says. They do all their deeds to be seen. Gosh. They do all their deeds to be seen, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long, and they love the places of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplace, being called rabbi by others. Watch this. So he says about these Pharisees, they love doing ministry just for a show. They preach to be seen. They do ministry to be seen. They dress to be seen. They post to be seen. They do stuff just to bring attention to themselves.
He always be saying, hear me, hear me. We hear you, Phillip. We hear the crap coming out your mouth. Let's rewind it a little bit so everybody can make sure that they heard what you said, okay?
They dress to be seen.
They dress to be seen. We heard you say that. Let's look at your website and see how you dress to be seen, okay? And how you want everybody else to dress so you can be seen, okay? Let's take a look at it right here. Let me punch play. Here's your website, Phillip. Let's look at this real close. Uh-huh. That looks like gangster letters to me. If I was just looking at it. Looks like gangster stuff, don't it? Let's see. You got lots of things on your website, Phillip Anthony. You like your people to wear this new collection? Okay. Keep on going. This stuff ain't cheap either. Okay. Let me click this off. Oh, you got your kids collection on there too. 2819 right there on their test. Ain't that interesting? Who is that dude right there with access? That powerful order of power access now live. Oh, okay. Y'all got access over there to. Well, you ain't got access to the church because it ain't never open except for on Sunday mornings. Okay. You ain't got access with the telephone numbers. You got to email him to get access over there. Kids merch is available. Ain't that crazy? He's got a big school and stuff over there, like a university or something where he's teaching students. Until all have heard, the 2819 church. Okay, is that dressing to be seen? I'm trying to figure out.
They love doing ministry just for a show.
They do ministry just for a show. And you put on one heck of a show, Phillip Anthony. Let's watch some of it. Okay, let's see how your show goes.
For you have only one teacher, which is Christ. And you are all what? Brothers and sisters. And call no man your father on earth.
Here it goes,
I don't want to even start trouble right there. Let me just keep moving.
Here it goes.
I get in too much trouble. Let me just keep moving. Who is in heaven?
He gets in too much trouble and he's going to say it. He knows people love trouble.
We're not calling a bunch of men father. We got one father who is in heaven. Man, I really want to say something, but I don't want to get in trouble. No. I'll let you figure it out for yourself. No.
Yeah, Lee, you put on one heck of a show. I'm telling you, you want to say something, but you ain't gonna say it because you're gonna get in trouble. Well, then you're gonna know that the crowd wants you to say it anyway. You hear them just riled up. Oh, say it, get it out. And you're gonna say no. After you done put it out there, you knew that was gonna get them worked up. And then the cherry on top of everything, that dramatic music in the background that they play in like a wah wah. Lord have mercy, you got this church going, ain't it? Listen to that doggone music, Phillip. You got it going on up in there. You need to sell tickets to this theater.
I'm gonna let you figure it out for yourself.
No, he gonna let y'all figure it out for yourself. That's what church is all about, ain't it? Oh, God. The preacher gonna let y'all figure it out for yourself. Because, okay, golly.
Oh my gosh, in heaven.
Honey, this is drama. At its finest, honey, it's drama. He's building it up, ain't it? He knows something that the rest of the world don't know. And he's not gonna tell y'all. I gotta figure it out on yourself.
Nah, they're gonna meme me to death.
Lord have mercy, he's gonna get memed to death. We don't want to get memed to death. Lord.
I'm done.
Oh, no. If you say what it is that you're gonna say, they gonna meme you to death, right? Okay, we don't want that. We don't want to be memed to death, right? Because we ain't up here trying to put on a show. We ain't trying to be seen. We ain't trying to be heard. All them things. Okay, they'd meme me to death if I said it. Oh, okay, we're gonna watch a little bit more of this, okay, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Now hear me. The Lord is not against you calling your biological father, or calling a man a spiritual father. He's not against you calling somebody a teacher.
Or apparently you do want to be memed to death, because then you go ahead and say what it was that you wasn't gonna say because you was gonna get memed to death. That's such a show, Phillip Anthony. Lord have mercy. It's such a show. I can't even with you anymore on this internet. My question to you, Phillip Anthony Mitchell, is why in the world do you have to have a $22 million building when you only open on Sundays? Okay, I'm trying to figure out, like, it don't take 22 million, but you get on Daystar and say you done wrung your heart out because you didn't want to have no material possessions. What is a $22 million building? It don't take all that, Phillip. You could take that and go house some people, like homeless people. You know, I heard you talk about homeless people one time when you was in the gym. You saw a girl come out from a old beat up van in the parking lot. Went in the gym, took a shower, and come back out. Her boyfriend then came out of the old beat up van, went in, took a shower. You know what? I used to be that girl in that old beat up van. I used the gym to take showers. Now, you know what? We had to pay to use the gym, so we wasn't destitute. So apparently that girl wasn't either. And you just didn't know what to do for her. Well, I promise you, buying a $22 million building ain't helping her. Okay, Phillip, you need to get your priorities out of your behind. Stay off of Daystar, because that's you. Phillip, when you go over there and you sit on that stage, that is you condoning what Joni Lamb did. And she is covering up the SA of her granddaughter. You support that? You gonna sell your soul out just to get a $22 million building to get seen? And then you gonna go around preaching to people about don't listen to them, people that are to be seen and all this kind of stuff. That's all you want to be. That's all you want, is to be seen, Phillip Anthony. Okay. I hope this message got out loud and clear, because now I done got heated. My hat's about to turn red instead of pink. Okay. Until next time, I just wanted y'all to see y'all. Okay. I don't even know how to end this. Okay. Just cut it off, Frank. Look here. If y'all enjoyed this broadcast, it would just help me out a lot. If y'all would just hit the like, share, subscribe, and comment, and all the buttons that y'all can hit. Okay. That would help just get my message out there. And if y'all like this and would like to hear more of these broadcasts, networks, investigative reports. Okay, it's been a long day, and it took me 3 days to do this video. Okay, so please push all the buttons. Okay, love y'all. Bye.